Let's go ahead and lay down onto our backs. Oh my gosh, they are rowdy today. Let's go ahead and lay down onto our backs. Morning. Asya, will you pull your mat one side or the other? Because there's someone else coming in and they could fit right there. So laying on your back flat. And I see some of you have really beautifully used the props in all kinds of creative ways. Of course, if you need something under your knees, you can leave it like that. If you need something under your head for some reason, you can leave it like that. But otherwise, bless you. I would love to see you laying flat. If there are sort of neck injuries or vertigo or other kinds of issues, then having the head elevated a little bit can make a difference. But otherwise, I love the idea of that central channel, the crown and the tail being aligned. So we can have the beginnings of sort of recalibrating our energy body. And so the back of the heels, the back of the sacrum, the back of the ribs, the back of your head are all aligned. And from this place on your back, you can begin focusing on your breath. Welcome, Vicky. I didn't get to say hi. So part of our challenge today in the yin practice is going to be reconciling with our ability to be still. Hi, Irina. Welcome. And stillness is not something that comes easy for all of us. For some of us, it is our perfect place to be. Especially in a room full of yin people, stillness might not be your challenge, you know? But what we do in the stillness requires a consciousness and a focus. And it'll start with the breath. I want you to feel the breath moving in your body, but against the mat beneath you. So that we're not just having a belly or a chest rise and fall. And that could be a perfectly fine breath, but I think a really, truly conscious breath is going to move three-dimensionally through your body. So this might just be a reminder to allow the breath to move into the space on the left side and the right side of the body. You can feel that happening at the bottom of the rib cage. On the inhalations, there's a widening. And on the exhalation, there's like a softening. So play with that for a moment. Just feel left and right side. We already started to bring our conscious awareness to the breath in the back of the body. So let's see if we can find some balance in the movement of the breath going forward and back. So the front of the body expands just like the back of the body expands. And it's kind of like a game we play to see if we can pay attention to those two things. Find the balanced action between the front of the body and the back of the body, and the left side and the right side. Is it all happening? And what I have found over the years is that the less we try, the easier it is for that breath to find its way. When we talk about 3 dimensions, we have our left to right, we have our front to back, but we also have the top and the bottom. This is the one that I think really helps us to journey inward and experience the breath fully. So I'm going to give you a space to work within. And at first, I'm sure the breath is not going to expand fully into that space, but it's going to give you room so that over time, the breath can expand more fully. And I'm talking about the pelvic floor all the way to the crown of your head. And while you're playing with that breath, moving up and down and expanding in that space, know that you are moving your breath deliberately up and down the central channel of the body. For me, it feels like the breath is stroking the spine, almost like a paintbrush, up and down. If you really focus, you could feel the softening in the pelvic floor. And on that inhalation, the pressure might expand and widen the pelvic floor. And then it may retone itself on the exhalation. And these are really subtle, really subtle changes. So if what I'm saying makes no sense and you're not feeling it, just know that it might take time to have this level of relationship with your body. It's a different level of consciousness that dwells in the subtleties and not the big gross movements. And I'm aware that keeping you on your back, just breathing for this long, can be really challenging mentally. So let's see if we can use our minds in a way that engages us enough to make this exciting, to open a curiosity in us, so that we can start to explore how the simplicity of this can be so profound. And that up and down movement of the breath, down in the pelvis, softening everything in the interior. On the top of the inhalation can actually create, if you get the breath into the upper lungs, it can create an inner pressure in the body that can be felt all the way up into the space between your brain and your skull. I know that's kind of a weird place to put your attention, but I'm going to ask you to try. And there is a little space there between the brain and the skull. And there are really subtle changes in the pressure when you breathe. Can anybody feel that? If you can, just raise one hand for me. Thank you for letting me know. And sometimes these awarenesses come over time. Is awarenesses a thing? I think I made up a word. How about this awareness comes over time? Like sometimes I hear myself and I think it's not a word. Yeah. And so we've explored a little bit of the up and down. We've explored a little bit of the left and the right. And we have explored a little bit in the front and the back. And now I invite you to kind of step out of your own way and see if that will just be the way you breathe. The breath is free to expand wherever. Your body will soften, not because you're forcing or pushing, but just because you're allowing. Now, as we change the shape of the body, you may notice that you still have access to a lot of the space that you're feeling right now, and that other parts of the body may feel compressed or restricted. And I want to start with something really simple, like just pulling the right knee into the belly. Just pull it in, grab it with your hands. And we have really changed up what's happening on the right side. I'm just going to hold on to that and just see if you can witness some of the subtle changes. I'm going to even suggest that you hold on to the right leg with the right hand and let the left arm relax. Now, that iliopsoas, the hip flexor, is very deeply connected to the quality of the breath. And from the right leg to the left leg, that front of the hips is in a very different position. See if you can notice any subtle change in what's happening at the bottom of the ribs or in the lower back. It might seem like the left side isn't really doing much, but because the psoas is in extension compared to the right side, which is in deep flexion, the breath might feel a little bit different because that muscle connects in the lumbar spine right around the same place where the bottom of the rib cage is. And in the same region where your diaphragm is, which is the major muscle of breathing. Bless you. So we may not realize that the left side is being pulled a little tighter than the right. But I think you might notice a change when we move the left leg. So let's just bend the left knee and put the sole of the left foot on the mat. And then see if you can feel a little change. Do you feel that? A little bit of more ease. Yeah. So every time we change the position of the body, in the most subtle ways, we are creating a change in the way the breath moves. And that breath directly is in relationship with all 12 systems of your body. Every single part of you, from your hair, skin, nails, your breathing, your muscles, your bones, your digestive organs, your cardiovascular system, like just every single part of you is connected to that breathing. Even the way you are feeling pressure or no pressure from the left side to the right side affects your colon. your liver, kidneys, your adrenal glands. So even if our poses seem really simple today, I want you to know that on a really subtle level, we are touching so many parts of ourselves. And your job is to continue to focus on the quality of your breathing. Can you still feel the three-dimensional quality of the breath? I want you to take 3 more breaths right here and squeeze the right leg in a tiny bit tighter just while we hold this pose for those last couple of moments. Just creating a little deeper flexion as you take this last breath. And on your exhalation, the left leg, the one that's on the floor, is going to straighten all the way down. Take one last breath now so we can release the right leg on the exhalation, bringing it down to meet the left leg. And then tell me if there's some kind of subtle thing happening there. Yeah, do you feel that? And again, this is subtle. I guess when you get so deeply still and relaxed, it doesn't feel so subtle. It's obvious that there's a release in the right hip. The hips feel different now, don't they? Yeah. Continue to move the breath in all 3 dimensions. And the softer you are, the deeper the breath will go. The more expansive it will be if you get out of the way. For those of us that like to control all the aspects of our lives, like, can you, for today, sort of release control and allow the breath to expand more fully? I imagine by now that that effervescence and that sensation in the right hip is starting to dissipate. So I'd like you to pull the left knee into the belly. And we're going to leave the right leg long for a moment just so that you can, again, witness the subtlety in the changes that are happening within. And try to hold with just the left hand so the right arm can be relaxed. I love the idea that we can do the least amount of effort and get the most out of it. Even if you're flexing your left foot, could you relax it and let it go? Think about the sensitivity that happens in the nerve endings in the sole of the foot and the muscular effort it takes to keep the foot in flexion, and then just let it go. Yeah. We waste so much energy unnecessarily. It's like plugging in your cell phone to charge and then using it the whole time that it's in the charger instead of just walking away for a minute and letting it fill, you know? Let the mat beneath you, let the stillness and your breath recharge your body. Let it remind your cells of their jobs and their roles in the whole of the magnificence of you. This body that we live in is a miracle. Now, as you're holding on to the left leg, let's go ahead and bend the right knee and just put the right foot on the mat. See if that brings you a little bit of softness so that the breath can be a little more expansive. Take a moment and scan your body and see if you are overusing any part of yourself. And then divert that energy to your breathing. Not actually doing the breath, but holding your awareness on the quality of the breath. We have to remember to continue to circle back to being the witness. Now we're going to hug that left one in a little bit tighter. Go ahead and let the right one extend down. We'll take those last 3 breaths. Gently hugging and deepening the crease at the left hip, just knowing there's purpose in that. Just playing with the shape of the body and playing with moving our physical anatomy around and watching what it does to our energetic anatomy. And as you're ready, with an exhalation, we can go ahead and release that left leg all the way down to meet the right leg. You can say it if there's an expression that goes with that. Yeah. Don't be shy about allowing releases to happen. Give that a moment. And while you're exploring and curious about the sensations and the changes, remember that you're still breathing. The breath is for your mind and for your body. It is the factor that connects us. And when we put the mind on a single pointed focus like the breath, the mind actually rests. I imagine that every single one of us in here knows the value of letting the mind rest. I in no way want to shut the mind off. I just want to give space for some of the swirling of thoughts to dissipate, some of the thousands of thoughts we circle in our minds all day, every day and night, and to maybe leave space for creativity, for insight, for decisions, for clarity. So we keep circling back and remembering that we're breathing. Now I'd like you to open your feet a little wider. Let them come out and touch the mat, the edges of the mat. So you open a little wider. The legs are still straight, but we just kind of open them a little bit apart. Yeah, and then go ahead and draw the right knee into the belly. Give it a little squeeze. It feels kind of familiar, right? But then what we're going to do with that right leg is we're going to release it and have the right ankle cross the left ankle. Right ankle crosses left ankle. Yeah, so we have gone over the midline. And can we do that with both legs straight? So that we're not externally rotating the right leg, but we're actually crossing the midline. And anybody got sensation there? Yeah. See if we can go ankle to ankle and both legs straight. So some of you still have the right leg bent. Yep, see if you can extend out. There you go. Then gently turn your head to the left and maybe move your shoulders a little bit to the left. And then we'll take the right arm up over the head. And the elbow can bend so that we don't feel too much pinching in the shoulder. But what we feel is an extension from the right heel to the right elbow. And what you might also notice here is that the shape of this pose changes the way we breathe. The left side of the ribs may be a little compressed, kind of like the ribs work like an accordion. So the left side's a little bit squished, but the right side's spread out wide. Just sort of breathe in there. Imagine all of the things that live inside that thoracic cavity. Now the breath might be creating a little bit of internal pressure, a little expansion. Just see what you feel. And we stay in the frame of reference of our breathing as we explore what's happening from the left side body to the right side body. Even the turning of the head to the left will open up the side of the right side of the neck. So again, a very simple pose, but if you're paying attention, it can be quite interesting what's happening inside of us. Three-dimensional breath. And when it comes to this practice, we surrender to the idea of time. Because time is your friend here. As the breaths happen and as the moments pass, there's an evolution of the pose. There is a constant change and transformation. And if you're patient, you'll be able to bear witness. And sometimes When we lay still for a long period of time in a kind of relaxed state, our minds can drift. So I'm inviting you to continue to circle back to that breath. And you can use any one of your senses to reorient yourself in present time. So maybe it's the sound of my voice or the feeling of the mat beneath you. Could be the music. Could be the sensations you feel in your body. Any one of your senses can hold you right here in this room, on your mat, doing your breath work, in your body. Three-dimensional breathing. The practice of presence in your practice. We'll keep changing the shape of the body, but your work remains the same. So your left arm could be down by your side, and the right arm is up over the heads. Your shoulders okay, Dina? Can you go this way? And then put the left arm down. Put the pillow under the upper arm. Bring it close to you. There you go. And then left arm down for me. Thank you. How is that? Maybe your head can turn to the left. And we are in our last moment here. So just keep feeling the breath moving freely, or maybe not so freely, left side to right side. Let the expansion of the lungs expand the ribs, which expands the intercostal muscles, which gives room for those inner vital organs to get a little bit of massage from the breath. And then we'll come into those last three. Bringing yourself and your awareness and your attention to those last three is like preparation for our transition out of the pose. So as you complete your third and final breath here, we're just going to bring the right arm down and recenter the head. You may notice as your head recenters that your shoulders can also recenter. Yeah, say it if you need to. Yeah, and sort of the space between the ribs evens out again. And then there's going to be a release in the hips. So as we pull, let's go ahead and pull the right knee back to the belly. Oh yeah, pull it in and then release it straight out. Yeah, say it. Just say it. Yeah. And then just be in the subtlety of that. The right leg releases all the way down and you just get a moment to feel it. Both legs are all the way down. And again, there might be a subtle shift in sensation from the left side body to the right. But we come back to that three-dimensional breath and we watch it effervesce. We watch it release. What you are feeling right now is tension that was held in the body. And it might have been because of the pose, or it might have been exposed because of the pose. But right now, you're getting to watch your body let it go. And other than that single pointed focus of the breath, the bearing witness to your body releasing tension could be the most important thing that happens in here today. We're so good at collecting the tension and holding the tension and exacerbating the tension, but how good are we at letting it go? Can you soften your lips and your jaw? Can you even notice that there is tension around the mouth and the throat and the jawline, the neck? Let's go ahead and open our feet a little wider. It's kind of like where we started, where the legs are out and they're relaxed, but we just kind of open them so we can feel the width of the mat. Yeah. And then we'll draw the left knee into the belly like we did earlier, so that flexion is familiar. And then when we release it, it goes all the way out to meet left ankle meets right ankle, a crossing of the midline. That creates an imbalance in the pelvis, pulling down on the left side. So that could feel kind of funky if you're tight from your hip to your knee and your IT band. If that imbalance in the sacrum, it could be pulling on the SI joint. And there's a lot of things that could be happening here. So does anyone feel anything there? Yeah? Yeah, so just kind of pay attention. You don't have to make it bigger or worse. If it feels intense, you could actually just put one foot next to the other. You don't have to cross the ankles. And then we're turning our heads to the right, maybe wiggling the shoulders slightly over toward the right side of the mat. And then bringing that left arm up and over the head. Do it with a bent elbow so that you don't have as much pinching in the shoulder. So three-dimensional breathing, awareness of the senses, engaging in the subtleties. Noticing the differences from one shape to the next. Wherever the biggest sensations are, can you kind of go there with your breath and try to soften them? Just be part of that process of letting that tension go. Sometimes when something feels a little bit stuck or something feels a little bit overstretched, when you go there with your breath, you can kind of work it from the inside out, or you can adjust your body so that the bone structure can not be so extreme. So please don't suffer in silence. If you're having discomfort, you can wave a hand at me and I will come. I'll offer suggestion, just like ankle to ankle instead of crossing ankles. Like you can just be side by side. And we're coming into that last moment. And so we really tune into the quality of the breath. And as you complete this last breath here in the shape, let's just recenter our heads and start to bring the left arm down. Yeah, I hear you. I love when I hear you. And so the shoulders recenter, the spine rebalances itself. Give that a moment. And we're going to take our time and just start to pull that left knee to the belly. Just draw it in gently. And then you can release it straight down. Send it out toward the left corner of the mat. And then just be still for a moment. And so we let the left leg go. Just continue to let that release. Come back to your breathing. And then kind of take a look around. I know that a lot of you gathered props before you came in. Maybe you grabbed a variety of things and your neighbor didn't grab anything. So maybe we can share. And if anyone is left without anything to use, I will come over and bring you some props. But what we're going to do is we're going to find something that we can put under our hips. So it's either going to be one of the black blocks, a bolster, maybe two of the green blocks. Yeah. So if you have two and maybe your neighbor doesn't have one, Dean, could you give one of your blocks to Kim? Yeah. There we go. So two green ones could go side by side, not on the rounded part, but on the flat part. And then you could use the bolster. And so you can't place it until you have to lay on your back. Lay on your back and then bend your knees and lift your hips and slide the prop underneath. Make sure your tailbone is supported. I don't want your booty hanging off the bottom. So you got to do it from bridge pose. You can't really lay back on it. I do. Make sure you do it from bridge pose. Okay. So our hips are elevated. Does anyone not have any props? Okay, good. You guys share well. This is good. So bend your knees. Your feet should be flat and the hips should just be elevated. Yeah. So Vicky, I'd like you to lift up and bring the props down. Let's go the other way, this way. Did it not feel right? Well, it's not gonna, because it's yin. Okay, good. And go ahead and draw the right leg all the way out straight onto the mat. Yep, straight down. So this is similar to what we have been doing on our backs, right? But notice there's a subtle difference. The hips are now elevated. So do you feel a difference? Yeah. There's a really nice stretch going on in the front of the right leg, but that may change the way the breath feels from the right side to the left side. Yeah? See if you can feel how the breath and that hip flexor, the psoas, are in relationship with each other. Can we do that three-dimensional breath in a way that makes that right hip flexor stretch a little more? So make sure your left knee is bent and your left foot is flat. Yep. That's it. And then so subtle, so gentle, just lift the right arm up. It'll make the right side of the body long. It might give a little lift to the rib cage. You can let it rest on the floor over your head. As you change the positioning and extend the shoulder, you feel the ribs spread and you feel that waistline lengthen a little bit on the right. Little subtle things. Make sure that arm isn't in the air. It's resting on the ground above your head. Take it all the way up. It's not over the chest, but toward the back wall of the room. Yep. There you go. And again, just the most subtle changes. So my hope is that we settle into a place here that feels somewhat relaxed. Is anybody like overstimulated in the right side? Like, is anyone getting pinching in their back or anything? Or are we okay here? We're getting thumbs up. Okay, we're okay. So now I'd like you to take the left knee and pull it to your belly and grab it with your left hand. Similar to what we were doing on our backs flat, but now it's a little bit different, yeah? Okay, that is your job today. To notice the subtleties and to create an awareness of the change of the shapes without any real drama around it, just to be the witness. Kind of hold a neutral space, but to be in it, present, breathing. Now, if you want your right hip to stretch more, pull the left knee a little wider toward the chest or the armpit. You feel that little change there? And if you don't want it to, then you keep it kind of toward the center. Continue to notice how the breath affects left side to right side. And even though there's differences, can you still fulfill that three-dimensional quality? There's space under your back ribs now. You might be able to breathe a little bit more into that front back dimension without resistance. Last 3 breaths here. And then we'll bring that right arm down slowly. Keep the left knee bent and place the sole of your left foot back on the floor. And then please bend the right knee and put the sole of the right foot there. You feel a softening right away. Just kind of be in that for a moment. Yeah. And we want to make sure that the tailbone isn't hanging off because it's going to give you an anterior tilt. Yeah, I see. If you could lift up, I'll pull it down. Just lift up. Yeah, better? Yeah. Okay. Take a clearing breath, a big inhale, an open mouth, release. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that better? Yeah. All right. Left leg goes all the way down. Right away, you can feel what's happening there and suggestions. If it feels like you want a little bit more, bring it more toward the midline, that left leg. If you feel like you need to make it a little bit less, take your foot out toward the edge of the mat. You can do both if you're curious, and then decide where you want your left leg to be. Mhm. Feel okay? This one straight, this one bent. Just stay like that. We don't want this happening. Yeah. Now we can take the left arm up overhead. It will just extend the line of energy on the left side body. You get a little lift from the rib cage, and all of that, extending the leg down and extending the arm up, it still affects that psoas and the way the breath feels in that 3-dimensional breathing. And you have the option, like we did on the other side, to draw the right knee in toward the belly or not. Some of you might leave it. If you're in discomfort in any way, just leave it down there. If it feels better to pull it up, just please listen to your body. Everything that I offer here is a suggestion. It's like an opportunity for you to kind of like poke at your curiosity in your body. And the way in which you do the movements is up to you. How much is enough? If you want more, you kind of squeeze that knee a little more toward the chest or the armpit. I think when you widen, you feel a little more sensation on the left side. If you don't need any more sensation on the left side, certainly don't do that, you know? I promise you, the lift of the pelvis is enough. Your job is to stay relaxed and continue to focus on that breathing. So we're going to take those last 3 breaths here. Pulling your attention to the work. And as you complete the 3rd and final breath, just simply bring your left arm down. And don't be shy. And then release the hold on your right leg, but keep the right knee bent. Let's put the foot back onto the mat. And then bend the left one. Feel the softening. Yeah. Now, if you would, for a little bit of release, draw both knees into your belly. I know you could actually take them both out, but I think this would be better to pull them both in. Yeah. And from the sounds of the room, I think that you're appreciating that moment. All right, so now I want you to consider most of you have a bolster under you, which is perfect. I want you to stay like that. Some of you have blocks under you, and you may be fine. But I'm going to just offer the suggestion that maybe a towel or a shirt or a blanket could be draped over the block for some softness. Because we're going to take this onto our side body. So we're going to roll onto our right side. Keep your hips elevated. If you need something, like if you don't have everything and you need something, you want to make sure that the greater trochanter, which is that little part of the top of the leg bone that kind of sticks out, that thing is what's elevated. So roll onto your side body so your hips are up. Pull your right knee toward your belly. Make sure you're not like stay straight. Yeah. So you don't want to roll off the bolster. You just want to kind of turn onto your side. And then the top leg, which is your left leg, is going to go straight down the mat. Yeah, I do think. So on your side, you got to be on your side. Think about that. Like, so the greater trochanter, like the outside of the hip, is what's elevated. The right knee is bent in toward the body, and the left one is extending down. Can you guys feel that? Okay. And then let's take the left arm and just reach the arm over the head. Now, if your hip is super tight, your leg might feel like it's floating in the air, right? Let this one down. Let everything, yeah. Don't hold anything in the air. See if maybe a little more on your side. Lift up and I'll get this under you. Yeah, let's get you centered. It's a little too low. Yeah. Right? Support under. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone need help? I think most of you got it. You're good, Les. We're not rolling forward or back here. We're doing the best we can to truly stay on the side body. So we can pull this up, get it out of the way. Yeah, there. So this one drops a little more. Are we okay? Okay. And we certainly don't need to hold anything up, so let this relax. Yeah, and then let this relax. There. On your side. Yep. 3-dimensional breathing. Does it feel different left side to right side? So it's the 3rd time that we've had one leg in flexion and one in extension and one arm over the head. Subtle changes in the positioning, different sensation, yeah? I love gravity. Yeah, just gravity, just changing up the orientation of the pose and the effects of gravity, just a whole new experience in your body, but not so different than what we've been doing. Let's give this 5 more breaths. Yeah. Breaths that hold your attention, breaths that explore the sensations. Just there. You're welcome. As we start to complete that final 5th breath, just bring your left arm down. And let's go ahead and bend both knees. So both knees kind of pull in, and then you're going to balance and roll yourself back to the center of your prop. Knees to the belly. You feel okay? You okay? Yeah, you'll get on the other side, it'll balance out. Yeah. That a little better? Okay. So try to relax a little bit in the belly. Try to relax your back. Just hug the knees in gently. You can go a little wider or a little narrower. It can make a difference, right? And then we want to make sure we feel centered on that prop so we can roll over to the left side. So you kind of turn your body. If you roll on the prop, you might roll off the edge. So you got to kind of turn yourself. You can use your left arm as a pillow. And then we keep, so center yourself a little bit more. So come this, no, this way. I want this leg to hang off a little bit. Yeah, and then this one's going straight. So we're going to straighten the right leg down and the right arm up over the head. Left knee is bent. And you don't need to hold on to your knee. Let your leg relax. Maybe use your left arm as a pillow under your head. And do your best to stay on your side body. It's not always so comfortable to rest on the greater trochanter, like on the outside of that hip and leg bone. There is sort of a bony process that sticks out of the side of the leg, which is why I wanted you to have something cushiony under you, you know? If the hard prop is bothering you, we can put a blanket or your shirt or whatever. When they come out of this side, let's do it, yeah. And so the work remains the same. The arm goes overhead, we explore the curiosity of what's happening. About 2, I think. Let's lift up. Go to bridge. Then it has to lift. So be in bridge pose for a second. Pick this up. Bridge pose. Pick that knee up and go to bridge pose for me. Bridge. Lift. Bridge pose. Lift your hips. Yeah. Okay, now roll onto your side. Totally side body. So that's the thing, you have to center yourself. Like I feel like you're not on the middle of the prop, so you're not feeling supported. No, here. That's why I want you to get centered, but you're going to fall off the prop because you're not in the center. You got to move back a little bit. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Do you feel that? Okay. I didn't want you to hurt yourself. Yeah, exactly. So Dina, you should be on your side. You should be leaning on your left hip. Be more centered on your bolster. Completely on your side. Chest is not facing up to the ceiling. Completely on your side. Left arm is a pillow, or you can use your pillow. But no chest facing open here. Literally on your side body. When the arm goes up, it just goes over the head. It doesn't turn you open. There you go. You're getting it. Side body. There it is, my friend. I think I might have missed it on the other side for you. Okay. Sensations in places you didn't know you had, right? Last 5 breaths. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, they're attached. Let's take those last 3 breaths now. And we'll bring the arm down first and pull both knees into the belly. And just carefully roll yourself back onto your center, onto your back. Squeeze your knees in for just a moment. Yes. And now with your knees bent, put your feet back on the mat. And no matter how you came into being on the prop, this is how I want you to come out. I want you to push into your feet and lift your hips as high as you can, and then slide whatever you have under you out from under you. And really carefully come down, lengthening your spine, drawing the tailbone toward your heels as you lower your back. How do you feel? Are you guys okay? Everything started so simple. Who would have known that that was going to happen? I did know, yes. Now, if you feel ready for Shavasana, you're already there. You can slip right in. But if you feel like you want to draw your knees into your belly again without the prop, that might be useful. And a little bit of side to side movement, like a massage. So movement or stillness, one isn't better or worse. Sure. That's there. And when you feel like there's some level of like self-soothing happening, and you feel like you can settle into your stillness, we will move into our sacred rest, the final resting pose, Shavasana. Here, baby. You're welcome. And one breath at a time, we settle into the stillness. You will find that cool cloth by your left shoulder. You want to cover your eyes. Otherwise, we will just settle into our beautiful moment of surrender. Just the letting go. Sometimes our greatest appreciation of sound comes in the absence of sound. Allow yourself to be in silence and the stillness. And in your own way, in your own time, knowing that there's no right or wrong way to awaken, but to work to gather all of the parts of you, your thoughts, your feelings, your body, your breath, your emotions, right? Your intellect, all of the aspects that make you fully you. Bring them all together and come into a seated position. Thank you. You guys did really good today. How do you feel? I imagine, and I don't know for sure, but I imagine that some of you are going to walk away from this practice maybe with some soreness because we touched that side hip work is not something that we do all the time. And so there could be like sort of long held tension that lives here, right? And so if we pulled at it, especially the sacral ligaments and the SI joint, like back here in the center, that kind of stuff can feel a little tender. So just be aware, be gentle with yourself, you know. Don't think that you did anything wrong. You didn't create any kind of injury. You just need to give it a day or two, right? To let it heal. So just be careful what you do later, you know, or tomorrow. A regular yoga practice could work, but I'd be a little cautious about a heavy workout, like lunges or squats with weight or something else, you know, like that kind of thing, or even a vigorous run. I would be a little gentle just with that part of you for the next 24-ish hours. And keep playing with that three-dimensional breath. It will soothe it. It will help it. Sounded like a beer cracking open. It's LaCroix, yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Irina, welcome back. It was nice having you today. And there were 10 others actually online. So, for all of you that are continuing to tune in from wherever you are as we sort of break up a little bit as a community, it's so beautiful that we stay together here on the Zoom. I love seeing all of your names, even if I don't get to see your faces. So I thank you for your continued connection and support. Let's close together, hands at the heart. A deep breath in. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, perfect peace. Lakasamasta Sukino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. May we continue to use our yoga for good. May we continue to circle back to our breath and know that it is a part of our healing. And as we heal ourselves, we heal the world. As we heal ourselves, we heal the world. As we heal ourselves, we heal the world. Namaste. You're so welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. All right. Yeah, it was good. I did not, I tried not to aggravate your, yeah. Yeah, but you do great. You know exactly what you can and can't do. Yeah. Yeah, the breathing is work. So one little announcement. If anyone is interested this weekend, as you know, in this version, this semester of teacher training, this year's training, I have decided to open up modules for learning. So if anyone in the greater community who does not want to invest in teacher training or 200 hours or all that time, all that money, but you want to learn, this weekend, you're so welcome. This weekend is uh, our anatomy section. So we're going to be learning about the 12 systems of the body. We're going to learn about anatomical positioning, like why all of this language and this information is really important. Knowing your body a little bit better, like mapping out the parts and knowing it. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 7, you can drop in for the anatomy portion of the teacher training without committing to the whole thing. So if you're interested, you can see Lisa or you can come talk to me about it. But I think anatomy is a fascinating part of what we do. So if you're interested, come and see me. Yeah, this coming weekend. Yeah. Yay. All right. Hi.